Uh, Timestamp, it is September 15th, 9:15, 2024. It is just after midnight. Filtering water. I'm about to make some coffee because, yeah. They say no news is good news, but I'm starting to get a little worried. I'm a lot worried, actually. Let's see. So we're technically Sunday morning, because after midnight. So my mom tripped and basically face planted into the marble counter at their house on Friday. Was taken to the hospital. And I know this because one of the neighbors called me to let me know. And I'm still surprised my dad actually called like an hour after that. It's funny because I talked to my mom, the week before. Even my cats are ramped up. Jinx and Hex are like circling me like sharks. I talked to Mom about this probably like a week ago, one of our last phone conversations. And I said, if something were to happen, would Dad call me? Would I be the first phone call or even one of the, top 5 based on his memory right now and the fact that he's not always making the best judgment calls, and more importantly in my head, the idea that he has cast me as at least one of the villains in his paranoid delusions. Because I broke into their house and robbed their safe, which when we looked an hour later still had everything in it, So I'm a little surprised that Dad actually called me, just because I'm a little surprised that Dad actually called me. It's good. It's good. I encourage this behavior because, yeah, I'm kind of the guy that needs to know. They've got 2 main friends that help them from time to time, other than like people in the neighborhood. One of them pretty much worships my dad and I trust him. The other one I do not. I think he has been manipulating my dad for years because he's aware of my dad's condition. There are a couple things that turned up missing that, according to my dad, I'm not going to name names, but this friend really liked those items. And then a week later, a day later, an hour later, after that person has been around, that item is nowhere to be found. And that makes me think that as a friend, you're probably not a very good one, and that maybe you're taking advantage of a man that has the memory of a guppy. Am I wrong? I could be. I don't like to think ill of anybody. I usually like to look on the positive side of things. But I've overheard a couple conversations that he's had with this person. And this guy's really the devil on my dad's shoulder. He's like egged him on and encouraged him to do some things that my dad 10 years ago wouldn't have even considered doing. Because he would have known they weren't right. If you know what I mean. So, yeah, I'm hoping that I'm the first phone call and not him, because God knows what'll happen. But, yeah, they say no news is good news. We went all the way through Saturday. I did a cashier shift at the store because we had that cashier storm out last night after informing everyone at the front end that they needed to learn English if they were going to be in this country. I do think that learning English is a good thing, because I do maintain that even though we don't have a national language, all of our documents are in English. All of pretty much our signage is in English. It may be in another language as well, but it is in English and said other language, depending on where you are in the country. Learn English. Again, my family came over here speaking German and Czechoslovakian. They learned English. If you talk to my dad or my mom, you wouldn't even know that they were of German heritage because they just sound like American folk from Ohio, Pennsylvania, which is where they're from. But, this no news is good news thing. I figured my dad may not call me back, but I figured my mom would call me back. Because I'm sure she knows that I know about the situation. And I would have thought my mom would call me and say, I'm okay, I'm not dead, don't worry. I'm still a little skeptical that they would actually discharge her from the hospital same day. And then again, I'm not, because the hospital/medical world tried to kill her like 3 times last year. There were a couple of times and Pix and I are the ones that we saved my mom a couple times. The medical staff was like dragging their feet when certain things were happening, and we were recognizing that there's a problem here. And we were told after the fact, if they hadn't taken the steps when we warned them, hey, you should do something, that she would have died. And there was another time, and Pix noticed this one, because she has a little bit of a medical background, and she was kind of over my mom's shoulder a lot, trying to make sure that she didn't get killed. They were about to give her the wrong medicine. I'm not going to say what hospital she was at, but they were about to give her medication that would have put her in a little bit of jeopardy, and not given her medication that she absolutely needs to live. So, you do the math. This is going to hurt you, and we're not going to give you the stuff that'll save your life. Enjoy. But Pix caught it and was like, whoa, hey, that's not the right thing, and she needs this. Oh, no, she doesn't. Yes, she does. She gets that daily. Oh, yes, she does. You're right. Please stop trying to kill my mom. But yeah, I'm concerned. I really, and I broke the rules. I had my Bluetooth headset at least around my neck while I was cashiering, because I figured, Murphy's always on the clock. I'm going to clock in, start ringing up customers, and that's when my mom's going to call. And it's going to be awkward as hell. And she didn't call, which does have me concerned. Well, I'm going to start the coffee. Hold on. All right. But, my mom, just to, give you the specs. Not these, I need these. She's an 84-year-old woman who had 2 strokes last year. We think a heart attack as well, or some other kind of cardiac event. Maybe 2. She is renal stage 4. She is diabetic. And she's had breathing issues for a few years too, because there's a lot of fatty tissue around the lungs, and apparently that doesn't work well together. And she suffered a blunt head trauma, and they were planning on fixing up her nose and sending her home. I mean, in my gut, hello Jinx, in my gut, I think, I don't know if they just told my dad that to tell him that, or if they were just being incredibly optimistic. You know, like too optimistic, like rose-colored glasses kind of optimistic, and then later on went, ooh, maybe that's not a good idea. So I would think they would have kept her another day, you know, for observation. I mean, I don't have a medical background. I'm just, you know, I'm a Gryffindor who reads. I would think they would keep her for a day. You know, maybe not a week, but at least an extra 24 to make sure that there isn't some kind of hemorrhaging or blood clot or, you know, any one of probably a score of things that could go wrong after said head trauma. And I'm hoping that she didn't call me because she's still in the hospital and they kept her for that extra 24 hours of observation. That's what makes sense to me. I do have a little bit of a rasp going on symptom-wise today, but I was up. Yesterday for me was about a 30-hour day, and I was bad. I smoked 3 cigars basically during that 30 hours. I mean, I was bad, I was good. It really depends on your point of view. You know, if I'm normally up for like 16 and smoke 2, maybe that's great. And I've smoked a good solid 2 today. And I've been up, yeah, 18 hours, something like that. Yeah, I did a cashier shift and then was asked to stay a little while because one of the other cashiers had called out. So they got another cashier. Jinx keeps like brushing against my feet and ankles, and it's a little alarming. Yeah, so I stayed on a little bit longer, like another hour and change, while the other replacement cashier got there. It was funny. To me, it was funny. I was about to clock out because the other cashier had gotten there and the manager on duty was setting up her till and all that. And I think it might have been actually the last customer I rang up. Seemed like a nice woman. Probably 30-something, maybe late 30s, early 40s-ish. Asked me, and she wasn't trying to be like, you know, ironic or funny or anything. She asked if we were hiring. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure we are. You have to do it online, but yeah, I'm pretty sure we are. There's a little poster thingy on the window over there. Go ahead and take a picture of that, and please apply. Feel free. Oh, and if they hire you, show up and don't yell at people. That'd be cool. I didn't say that part, but I thought it. I am concerned. I am. I didn't want to. I thought about calling several times today, but I didn't want to call. I wanted to let them, you know, if she did get home, if Dad's trying to get her situated and comfortable and all that, I didn't want to get in the way of all that. If I don't hear anything, though, I'm gonna give a call today, i.e. Sunday, after I get up. I'm gonna be going to bed here pretty soon. I'm gonna try to anyway. I don't know exactly how that's gonna work out, but I'm trying to be optimistic about the whole situation. You know? Coffee. Just keeping it simple, doing some donut shop. But there's a pumpkin spice creamer action going on. I normally do sweet Italian cream. You know, in case that ever comes up in a trivia contest, now you know. But yeah, I normally do Italian sweet cream, whatever. But at Aldi they'd gotten in, because it's September, we're getting into, Thanksgiving season and all that, a pumpkin spice creamer, which is pretty good. Alex likes to have interesting creamers on hand during the holidays. It's just one of the little things that keeps him happy. So whenever they get in like the pumpkin spice, which actually I don't know if they've gotten that before, but later on they'll probably get in, it's like a peppermint twist or something like that, and some other holiday-ish sugar cookie. Usually pick those up, have like one of those in the fridge at all times. It's the little things sometimes. I do not know anything. Well, that's not frustrating at all, right? Now, I am assuming that because the neighbor called me, and I'm very glad that he called me, because last time I talked to him was like a year ago, when I gave him my number and said, hey, because he knows the situation with my dad, he actually got in Kelly and my face one day. We had just come over to, start our day helping them, and he was doing his morning walk, the neighbor. I think we'll call him Brian, just so we have a name. Brian was doing his morning walk, which he's prone to do. Just walks the neighborhood and actually carries a flag. He's a vet, and he kind of does a one-man parade thing in the morning, taking glory around the block. But he stopped in my parents' driveway so that he could aggressively fuss at Pix and I, because we weren't doing anything to help my dad. And we let him know we're attempting to help my dad, and we're trying to get him into the doctors to get him diagnosed, to get him better treatment. But we were reaching a point where we were getting resistance from both him and my mom to a degree. So we were well aware of the situation, but he was very upset because he's like, look, your dad is having some real issues right now, and I feel like no one's taking it seriously. And I told him, funny you'd say that, I feel the same way. So we've been silent allies ever since. But yeah, talked to him about a year ago, and I said, look, I don't know that my dad's going to have the wherewithal to call me if things go sideways. Oh, that's so good. Because if something happens with my mom, something's probably going to happen with my dad. And I don't know that he's going to call and say goodbye. And I'm going to be completely in the dark on this situation. But Brian always knows what's going on in that neighborhood. Always. There's always that one person. You know what I mean? There's always that one person in the neighborhood that knows. I'm not saying they're nosy or, busybodies or whatnot, but there's always that one person that just always knows what's going on. Whether people will come to them and tell them what's going on, which sometimes people are like that too, they have that easy ear. Or they're just home all day long, and therefore they can observe the comings and goings, which is kind of Brian's situation. He's retired ex-military and all that. And he just knows what's going on because he pays attention, and his house is one of the first ones on the block from the turn-in. So he sees all the comings and goings. But yeah, I mean, I laid the groundwork about a year ago, said, call me. Dear God in heaven, I'm the person that needs to be called. And we have an understanding. But I didn't know, because it's been a year. You know what I mean? And I have a special ringtone set up for him. I have a special ringtone set up for everybody. And I heard his ringtone and about freaked out because I thought, oh dear God. I mean, maybe that's still the right answer. Still the right reaction based on the events of yesterday that I know about and don't know about. But yeah, I heard his ringtone and about killed myself running to my phone because I thought, oh crap, here we are. And maybe this is the beginning of that end. I don't know. This is frustrating. I have no idea what's going on. And I don't want to call them at 12:30 at night. If my mom wasn't having a cardiac event, she will. It seems like a bad move. I think my cat is in the windowsill over there snoring. That would be Hexie. Hexie is snoring. I'm hearing a... You may not be able to hear it, but I hear everything in the room. And yes, my kids hate it. I especially find it funny when I hear one of them say, "Shut up, Dad's gonna hear you." Oh, the irony. Really don't know. I'm supposed to work tomorrow night. Overnight stocking. That's my only day on the schedule. Actually, I volunteered for a Tuesday night cashiering gig if they can't find anybody else, because having cashier issues. Apparently, in order to actually do your job, you actually have to show up. Who knew? It's that new math thing. I don't know, it's weird. Another one bites the dust. Oh, man. Damn good coffee. And hot. Bonus points if you know where that's from. Yeah. Seeing more and more positive political news. The orange guy is getting more and more frustrated, it looks like, which is good. Because he frustrates me. He doesn't need to have any power. He doesn't. He's unstable. And he's not a genius. Yeah, no, he's not. He's a skilled grifter. That's about where it ends. Whoop. Oh. Okay, I'll lay you down. That would be a jinx. What are you, 18 pounds? 18-pound black cat. He's a genius as far as cats are concerned. He is absolutely a genius. He's one of the smartest cats I've ever known. His object permanence bowl trick is phenomenal. I'll explain that when I have more time. I just realized I'm way over 20 minutes. That tickled. Oh. I do not have any idea what's going on. And I hate that. Exactly. I don't know. I will keep you and the rest of the interweb posted. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Again, more than happy to have a dialogue. I know I've got people watching the videos, which is cool. That's why I put them up, was, but we can actually have a complete discourse. It's not necessarily me just, screaming into the darkness. If you want. If you want to lurk, lurk. Lurk. But yeah, I'll let you know when I know. Because I really don't. I have no idea. I'm in the dark here. I would think if she was home and settled, she would have called me. Just to let me know, hey, I'm okay. And that's the part that worries me a little bit. But at the same time, them keeping her for an extra day also makes sense. And there's about 50 things in between that could have happened. Yeah, I don't know what to think. Go to the light. All are welcome. Alright. I'm going to sign off for the moment. We'll definitely do this again. Maybe I'll have information. That'll be exciting. Anyway, make it a great day.